You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 27th meeting of the Michigan City Port Authority Commissions. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Michigan City Port Authority Board of Directors meeting, January 27th. I call the meeting to order, and I'm looking for approval or correction of the January 13, 2024, 2025 meeting minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Over here. Okay. Reports from the Harbor Master, Mr. Frank.
All right. The first thing I'll talk about is last week I met with some representatives from NIPSCO, and they are planning on starting a project coming up here probably the end of March, the first part of April. They are going to reinforce 1,400 feet of their seawall directly across from the Coast Guard station and then going south to about to the corner by the DNR station. That wall, I believe, was put in the 1930s. Periodically, they've got it inspected. It's coming near the end of its expected life. They don't want to have a failure on that wall, so they're going to put a new wall right in front of it and then fill that space, that void, with concrete to reinforce that wall. They expect to start driving piling the end of March. They're going to start from the land at the north end, and as they work south, eventually they'll have to move on to a barge. Just because of the contour of the land there, they won't be able to get to it. And they expect to have all the piling driven by September. Looking at the work area that they need and everything, I don't think it'll really have any impact on us, other than there could be some sound issue depending on how much noise the pile driver makes. They're using sheet pile, but I believe they're going to drive it in as opposed to try to vibrate it in for whatever reason.
Maybe so long.
That could be. Yeah, I believe the sheets are in the neighborhood of 50 feet long. So,
Is that like that corrugated stuff?
yeah. So that'll be coming up. Then, as far as winter projects go, our most recent one, we replaced the sinks and countertops in the store bathrooms over here, both the men's and the women's, and reinforced underneath. Those countertops didn't have really as much of a bracket underneath as it should have had. And so over time, that particle board had kind of warped a little bit. So now we've got that all straightened out. And then the last thing is kind of a housekeeping thing. I got an email from the mayor's office. They wanted me to bring up that as your term comes up, periodically we have people whose term has expired. The next two on our board would be Mr. Messina in March and Mr. Manor in May. The mayor's office sent a form that they would like filled out, even if you're an incumbent, that you're interested in continuing to serve on the board. And then anybody else, if you know somebody that you think would be interested, they should also fill that form out. And she's looking for people that are interested to serve on boards. So that's what a couple of you, I think, got that form. When your others come up in a couple of years, if you need that form, we have them in the office. And that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
About this wall that they're going to put over there, you say they're going to put in a new wall in front of the old wall.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be a walkway along that, or is it going to be closer than that?
I think it's closer. It sounded to me like it's only a matter of inches, 6 or 8 inches, something like that. When we did the Millennium Plaza, I want to say we were maybe a foot out in front. It might have been a little more than that. And it could be that that's the same, but it's certainly not as wide as a walkway.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The bathrooms that you rehabbed over here in I think you said the maintenance part of that whole base camp facility.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also do the ones on the south end of the building that,
Those are the ones I'm
those are
talking
your,
about.
because I thought you had some inside the.
Well, there is, but that's just a wash tub sink that we use. It's not for customers or anything.
So we've got.
The ones we
out
did
there.
are on the end of the store building.
Thank you. I've never been in the other ones, I just didn't know that they messed up at all.
Moving on.
Wait, one more thing.
Yep.
Do you know of the expected date for NIPSCO to shut that place down?
No, the last I heard, and it's been several years ago already, they were talking 10 years. But I don't know where we are in that. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, since we have a new president, so I understand that, oil is in and
A new president.
windmill and batteries are out, so maybe we're just gonna keep it going.
Maybe we'll burn a little more coal after all.
All right, moving on. Reports from Assistant Harbor Master Administration, Mrs. Palinki.
At this time, the only thing I have is just normal office operations going on. Nothing special.
Mr. Ferguson, Budget and Financial Oversight and Review Approval of bills to be paid.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just recapping the bills to be paid. On the front page, it shows a little under 31,000, and there's another roughly 4,000 that is not listed on the front page, but listed on the back. I'm not going to go into those. Front page, we talked about some barge repairs, two pieces of that at B&E. The $5,000 there for advertisement, that's for the summer programs to help the city, stuff we've done. Credit card bills, security, NIPSCO bill. I'm told that I didn't remember this, but the NIPSCO bill runs around about even on the winter months, the off-season months. Coming down, we had tractor repairs, that's, is that truck or tractor? Tractor, that's a tractor. The truck repairs, I think I'll hit next period, as I remember. And so we had those repairs, a little bit of lawn care, leftover lawn care, and Weir Partners. I can't remember what that was. Weir?
They're maintaining the equipment, so the forklifts, we had them work on our hydraulic trailers.
Okay, so that's what those are. Plus, as I mentioned, another 4,000 in bits and pieces, probably another 20 items on the second page. With that being said, I'll make a motion that we pay the bills as stated for $35,374.37.
Second.
Question, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on. Do you have anything else, Mr. Ferguson? You're good?
Not today.
Okay. Mr. Haynes, Claims and Insurance.
I have nothing.
Did you get this copy, Frank? Okay, this is the difference in the deductibles. I don't see anything scientific enough that would make sense because it would cost us more in the long run if we had one claim. So, but just so you guys can review it, we can, if anybody has any questions on it or anything, or wants to make a suggestion, we can do that at the next meeting. That way you got time just to digest it.
I don't think I understand your comment. You didn't think this was relevant?
No, I don't think the money that we would save would offset us having a claim. Because the odds of us having a claim is greater than not having a claim.
Yeah, if we add all these up on the higher deductible side, it comes to $3,216 would be the savings on the premium, and I agree. I don't think that's worth raising the deductible for that amount of savings.
So we'd be self-insured up to $10,000, the first 10,000. Whereas now we're self-insured up to the first 5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah. So it's just not, it's not a big enough difference to make a difference. You know, especially if you have two claims, then we're really out. So,
Right.
but if anyone has any other opinion, we can bring that back up later, but I just wanna make sure you guys got that, because everyone asked for it, so. For operations, everything's just going like normal, it's winter time, and we're getting ready to start moving stuff around again. It's not too far behind.
I don't know, it's creeping up on us.
In 2 weeks, there'll be people trying to, can you move my boat closer to the
Yeah,
water?
once the weather starts touching 40,
So, that's all I have. So, Mr. Messina, Board of Communications Special Events.
I have no report.
And then Mr. Manor, Master Planning Special Projects, Park 11.
Well, the only thing I have with Park Liaison is pretty much what everybody's already seen, and that has to do with the playground they're gonna put down at Fetters Alley there. I'm sure everybody knows what's going on there. They're gonna have a pond there and everything. They also are going to have handicap accessible to some of the chutes and everything, so it's, and like I said, everybody, it's been all over the news, so, but it was really interesting. The guy that was there that explained it all, it sounds like it's really gonna be a nice addition.
There's a lot of money going on there.
Yes, there it is, there's an awful lot of money. The fellow that presented this is out of Chicago, so,
Nice.
that's about all I have. I don't have anything on
I
it.
think Lipsco's Wall will still be more.
Probably, that's a federal project.
All right, Mr. Cypress, Advertising Public Relations.
Nothing at this time.
All right, Attorney's Report, Mr. Zachman.
A couple of things. I've circulated to the board members and staff the proposed consent to an assignment, consent to an agreement and assumption of the lease agreement for what would be Michigan City Yacht Club taking over. It's effectively the same as the assignment and assumption agreement that we used when Holdings Group took over from whatever they were, 12 on the Lake LLC. Except we added the provision that the assignment to Michigan City Yacht Club will terminate if we don't get a new lease with them within 30 days. There's a provision in there that allows the parties to mutually agree to extend that deadline, but I think we'll probably get to a lease before then and don't need to. But if we don't get to a lease, then they surrender possession of the property back to us, which is why I think we'll get to a lease agreement very quickly. And it also provides that the release of Holdings Group is unaffected by our inability to reach a new lease agreement with Yacht Club. Holdings Group and Yacht Club would not close without getting a release that completely released Holdings Group, and that's understandable. If I were their attorney, I'd insist on the same thing. I do have a draft, I think I've circulated to this group, of the proposed new lease. The only outstanding issue is the rent amount. I got slammed last week, or for the past couple of weeks, and so I wasn't able to get in touch with anybody to give us a sense for what that property should rent for. But my suggestion would be, I can use the number that I came up with based on the CPI for December 1st. We won't get the next one will be the January 1st CPI, but that won't be till the end of this month. So I could recalculate it then, but it only went up like $3 or $4, if I recall correctly, from one month to the next. So I could put that in, and then that would be a proposed, but it's not going to be the one that is effective. And then maybe this week or early next week, whenever I can get a chance, or if anybody else has any thoughts, get an opinion on what that fair market value, that fair market rental value would be, and then plug that number in. So I think it's now like $12.97 a month, something like that. But that's for the full property, and we're talking about something a little bit different in this new lease. So I kind of covered the next thing I was going to talk about, which is I did calculate the new CPI rental amount, but that, again, is not probably going to be the rent that we're going to charge. Then, again, getting slammed for the past couple of weeks, I'm working on the bid package for Base Camp. We got to set that out for bid, and I think her lease is up, and she starts again in May, or whoever goes in there, if it's not her, is gonna start up again probably in May. So we got a little bit of time, but I am gonna get that thing out. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll get that and we can get that done. And there was another research project that I talked about after the last meeting. I'm working on that too, and I should have an answer on that one as well. And that's all I have.
You're saying right now, you're thinking that the lease amount would be, like, what'd you say, 1197?
I think it's 1297 is what I calculated, but that might not be fair market value, so we gotta talk to somebody who can tell us what they think.
Right, so you would,
And I'll be working on that this week.
and we have enough time to do that?
We do.
Okay.
What I would like to do, as I said, I circulated this around, I got a couple of board members said looks fine to me, others didn't comment, which I'm assuming means I didn't have any comment. So what I plan to do is circulate this to the attorneys for Michigan City Yacht Club and the attorneys for Holdings Group and the 3 individuals that were the members of holding groups, because they're all gonna be signatories on it, and then see if they have any comments. If not, I'll get signatures, and then ultimately when they've all signed, then the president will sign on behalf of the board, and then at the same time, we'll start negotiations for the new lease with Michigan City Yacht Club.
All right. Anybody have any new business they want to bring up for anything?
Maybe just a question, Mrs. Plucky, when does the term or agreement for the other little general store, the lease on that? So,
That's
They canceled the little
lease counts a little one, yeah?
Yeah, that one's in May.
No, that's what you're,
That's what I'm talking about.
I follow you. Okay, nothing else.
All right.
I just like, that just brings something up concerning meeting dates that we have. Just spend a couple minutes on it. There are a couple times, maybe 3 times during the year that we have back-to-back meetings. We'll have one like tonight, and then immediately there'll be another next week based upon, I believe it's some holidays that come up. It's, very seldom do we have anything important to talk about that next week, because not much happens. I was wondering if anybody else had thought about that, and maybe we could just talk about it sometime. I'm not looking to do anything tonight. Sure. But it just seems like a little redundant to have that, and then sometimes we'll go 3 weeks without a meeting. Maybe we could just have a meeting on that Tuesday after a Monday to keep things going. And so sometimes we just stick to the Monday absolute, and maybe if we needed to meet, we just, instead of going to the next week, just, if no one else notices that it's a concern, doesn't matter to me. It just,
Did the board already approve those dates?
Yes.
I'm not looking to do anything tonight. You just kind of bring it up for just a comment. We talk about it again sometime.
No problem. Sounds good to me.
Yes, if we decided to change meetings and stuff, we would have to vote on that.
Right, exactly.
After the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
John, you have anything?
Yeah.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Okay.
Now, second.
We got it, John.
5:19.
Like I said earlier.
I need to talk to you.